ACT Tutoring with Professor Thomas Lamas. Professor Thomas has been teaching ACT preparation since 1995 and has currently worked with over 600 students for ACT prep alone. Also, Professor Thomas is a language professor in Asia, speaking more than 7 different languages including Sanskrit from India, Thai, Laotian, Brazilian Portuguese, and Russian. If your son or daughter is serious about improving their ACT scores, be sure to check out the rest of the video and find out more about Professor Thomas's Ultimate ACT program. Let's do a quick overview of the program itself. First and foremost, you'll receive one-on-one private tutoring sessions for ACT content with Professor Thomas. Everything that Professor Thomas teaches is available online for free at www.acttutoring.net. It's the largest video tutorial website for ACT tutoring, including 50 full, real-released ACT tests, along with video tutorials, including all the content, how to master each section. Then, 2 to 3 weeks before the actual ACT, your son or daughter will practice with real-life ACT tests, using timers, real tests, and bubble sheets. They learn the content in the practice tutoring sessions, and then they practice with real testing scenario situations. All the tests, all the material, all the practicing is done with real released ACT exams. Along with this program, your son or daughter will receive online or phone support. If they have any questions about anything, they can contact Professor Thomas between 8 a.m. and midnight by telephone or online. The best part of this program is free enrollment. Say that your son or daughter plans to take the test again. Once you pay the one-time entry fee with Professor Thomas, then the re-prepping will be free. That means 3 to 4 weeks before the actual test, your son or daughter will start prepping again for free. Professor Thomas will oversee all the re-prepping, including the time training sessions at the library and the practice sessions set up individually. Professor Thomas has a referral reward program. For each student that you refer that signs up for Professor Thomas's Ultimate program, you'll receive $100. That can either go towards your enrollment fee, or Professor Thomas will just write you a check for $100. That means if you sign 2 or 3 friends up, it's $200 or $300 in your pocket. Let's take a closer look at acttutoring.net. As I mentioned earlier, it's the largest video tutorial website on the internet, with over 80 hours worth of video tutorials going over all the content inside the ACT exam. Also, there's 50 real-life, real-released ACT practice exams. Your son or daughter can go ahead, print them out on their home printer, and practice with a paper copy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the website. Just simply type in www.acttutoring.net to come to our homepage. Once you arrive at the homepage, you'll notice on the right-hand side there's a blue toolbar. Go ahead, scroll your mouse over, and each one of the subsections will highlight orange. My blog, about my ACT program, members login, and how to register for the course. If you're interested in finding out more information about Professor Thomas, he has an informational website also at www.minnesotaacttutoring.com. Once you arrive at this website, you'll see that there's some practice videos. Also, there's some video testimonials. You can see what some of the other students have said about Professor Thomas. Let's talk briefly about Professor Thomas's teaching style. Professor Thomas believes that each student is individual, and therefore each student should be taught differently. Whether it's through visual images, auditory, hands-on, or through movement, Professor Thomas will hand-tailor a program ideal for your student. Private tutoring in a quiet, comfortable setting. All tutoring sessions will be conducted out of Dunn Brothers coffee shops. Whether you live in Edina, Eagan, or St. Paul, Professor Thomas knows all the secret spots. The last 2 or 3 weeks before the actual ACT, there will be practice time sessions, as I mentioned before. Each practice time sessions will be located at the Southdale Library in Edina, Minnesota. It's conveniently located, it's large, and it provides an environment almost identical to what your son or daughter will see on test day. Agree with the experts and practice with the best. Regents is an international school approved by the British Council of Education and claims to be one of the best schools in Asia. Also, Professor Thomas works as a volunteer English teacher in Sittachha, Thailand. If you have any questions about anything in regards to Professor Thomas's ultimate ACT program or a program hand-tailored toward your son or daughter's needs, feel free to call me at 952-217-0353. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.